conversation begins between Swan and their mother about a book club incident. The mother complains about Carol criticizing her preference for happy endings in books. Swan appears distracted and not fully engaged in the conversation, leading to tension when Swan sides with Carol's literary perspective. The conversation shifts to discussing friendships, with Swan suggesting their mother make new friends. The mother defends maintaining her old friendships despite conflicts, noting Swan's introverted nature. Swan reveals they just completed a 4-hour drive to Velvet Cove. The mother brings up old memories, particularly Christmas photos from before things went sideways. She expresses concern about Swan's 2-year absence during the pandemic and questions why Swan chose to visit Velvet Cove after so many years. Swan becomes evasive when questioned about a promise made to old friends from high school whom they haven't seen in 27 years. The conversation becomes tense when the mother probes about potential past relationships, leading to discussion about Swan's distant nature, even in youth. The discussion turns to holiday plans, with the mother hoping Swan will visit Vancouver for Christmas. Swan makes a non-committal response about trying to visit, leading to an abrupt end to the phone call as Swan cites poor reception. The narrative shifts to memories of Velvet Cove, particularly focusing on Swan's teenage years. Flashbacks include interactions with a pet cat named Pumpkin, moving preparations, and time spent with a video camera documenting daily life. The scene transitions to present day at the Blue Spruce Center, where Swan meets Gus, a friendly bartender. They discuss Swan's reunion plans with old friends, and Swan requests a phone charger while waiting for others to arrive. Swan encounters Autumn, marking their first meeting after many years. The interaction begins somewhat awkwardly with a failed handshake attempt, leading to them agreeing to catch up at a booth near the front door. There is casual conversation about movie theater concessions, specifically popcorn and candy prices. Someone shares their strategy of sneaking their own candy into theaters since bags are rarely checked. The discussion reveals common frustrations with expensive theater concession prices, while highlighting ways people work around these costs. A nostalgic reflection about time spent at a movie palace with a father figure emerges. The speaker recalls fond memories of browsing videotapes and discovering new films together, explaining how these experiences fostered their deep love of movies. Each film represented a new world waiting to be explored. A confrontation develops between two individuals over filming. One person accuses the other of inappropriately recording them, leading to hostile exchanges and name-calling. The situation escalates when Corey becomes involved, creating additional tension between the parties. A tense situation unfolds involving multiple people, including siblings and their relationships. There are arguments about respect, appropriate behavior, and family dynamics. The scene involves suggestions of going to movies together, though underlying tensions remain evident. A significant conversation begins between Swan and Autumn, old acquaintances reuniting. They discuss the need to address painful memories from a shared summer experience. Both acknowledge experiencing recent flashbacks, suggesting unresolved issues from their past that need examination. The scene transitions to a group interaction involving Kat, Nora, Autumn, and Swan. They discuss recent events involving Corey, who is described as seemingly harmless but actually threatening. The group bonds over their shared negative experiences with him. Discussion turns to creative pursuits, with Swan revealing their project of making a Velvet Cove memoir through film. The group shows interest in collaboration, particularly regarding music, with mentions of punk bands and riot girl scenes. They contemplate creating their own local music movement. A group of teenagers are searching for lost keys at night. Despite having mixed feelings about military deployment and anti-war protests, they work together to solve their immediate problem. The search leads them to explore dark areas using flashlights, creating an atmosphere of adventure and slight tension. The group discusses their personal interests while continuing the search. They share details about going to movies alone, playing video games at the library, and dealing with parental restrictions. One member has a beeper that goes off, revealing they have a strict curfew, though they try to play it off as a joke. The keys are finally spotted high up in an unreachable place. The group feels a strong connection forming between them, describing it as a magnetic pull. They attempt various methods to retrieve the keys, including trying to shake them loose like a vending machine, though these initial attempts prove unsuccessful. The search leads them to explore behind the building, where they discover what appears to be someone's living space. Despite feeling uncomfortable about invading someone's privacy, they continue their mission while trying to be respectful and quick about their search. The group finds potential tools to help retrieve the keys. They share a moment of levity with bad jokes about bricks and bars, showing their growing comfort with each other. One member expresses anxiety about potentially losing their first real job, while others offer reassurance and support. The scene transitions to what appears to be a documentary interview setting. A 16-year-old named Autumn Lockhart introduces herself as an army brat who moved to the area a few years ago. She discusses her friendship with Nora, revealing they met in detention and quickly became close friends. The narrative shifts to a bar scene in the present day, where two friends are reuniting. A bartender demonstrates an intuitive understanding of drink preferences, suggesting a gin and tonic for one patron who has moved past their vodka cranberry phase. The friends order drinks and begin catching up. Swann is creating a documentary called The Swan Files about life in Velvet Cove. Swann begins to describe a significant encounter with a group of girls, emphasizing their importance before being interrupted by a dinner call from their mother. The story appears to be building toward explaining a meaningful friendship. Kat, a homeschooled student of the same age, is introduced as being knowledgeable about music and supportive, though she can be harsh with her sister Dylan. The difficult family dynamics seem to necessitate a tougher attitude. Swann, who is typically shy and not used to socializing much, expresses hope about maintaining these friendships despite moving away at summer's end. At a local establishment, interactions occur between Swann and the staff, including Pam and Gus. The atmosphere is casual and friendly, with playful banter about age and customer service. A reunion is taking place, bringing old acquaintances together in this welcoming environment. The scene shifts to drinks being shared, with thoughtful beverage selections, including rum and coke and gin and tonic. The gathering carries emotional weight as it breaks a long-standing promise to never meet again. Both parties express nervousness about the reunion, acknowledging the significance of breaking their 27-year-old agreement. Life updates are exchanged, revealing one now lives in Canada near a lake, running a bookshop called Friends Nook. The other lives in Atlanta and has a son who plays hockey, despite an ex's attempts to interest him in basketball. Dating experiences are discussed, including recent attempts at finding connections through apps. The conversation turns serious as the true purpose of the meeting is addressed. A mysterious package arrived addressed to Bloom and Rage, raising concerns about old grudges and past events that remain foggy in memory. The situation brings up unresolved issues from their shared history. The narrative shifts to earlier memories of their first meeting, where initial nervousness about fitting in with the cool crowd is recalled. The scene takes place in a garage filled with interesting items potentially useful for filmmaking. The atmosphere is casual and accepting, with friends encouraging creative expression. The group discusses band names and shares stories, including an embarrassing incident that led to the name The Spew. Musical practice sessions reveal dynamics between band members, including discussions about guitar picks and playing style. Poetry writing is mentioned, though met with shy reluctance to share. Personal stories emerge about teenage rebellion, including an incident involving eyeliner that led to a confrontation with a parent. The narrative touches on changing family dynamics, shopping preferences, and the discovery of a special guitar pick. The conversation turns to music preferences, but Swann admits to being more of a film enthusiast than a music fan. This leads to a discussion about movie genres, with Swann expressing a particular love for horror and sci-fi films. The authenticity of this admission seems to resonate well with the group. The group introduces Swann to some basic music equipment, particularly focusing on drum patterns and beats. Despite some initial hesitation, Swann receives patient instruction on using various instruments and controls, including kicks, snares, and hi-hats. The atmosphere remains supportive and encouraging. An impromptu music session begins with everyone participating. The group performs an energetic song about independence and self-expression, with lyrics about breaking free and embracing authenticity. The performance creates a strong bonding moment between the participants. The successful performance leads to exciting plans for creating a music video. Despite Swann's initial hesitation about directing, the group provides encouragement. They discuss potential filming locations, with special mention of the Crow's Nest Trail and its unique lighting conditions. The group begins their journey to the filming location, maintaining high spirits despite some delays. They discuss various pop culture references, including Madonna and Janet Jackson music videos, while making their way through the trail. A brief interruption occurs due to work-related calls, but the group maintains focus on their creative project. They continue retracing their steps through the woods, acknowledging both positive and challenging memories associated with the location. Filming begins in earnest, with the group performing staged musical numbers and attempting to create authentic-looking footage. Despite some self-consciousness, particularly about looking awkward, the overall mood remains supportive and collaborative. A group of friends are watching a personal video project together. Initially hesitant about sharing, the atmosphere is filled with excitement and anticipation. The viewing session creates a strong bonding moment as they watch themselves on screen, with lots of enthusiastic reactions. After watching, they discuss performance, with Kat being singled out as the best actress. During the viewing, a power outage occurs, creating an eerie atmosphere. The conversation shifts to recalling events from the previous night, particularly their journey from a place called the Overlook. The group had gotten lost while trying to find their way back to the parking lot, leading to an unexpected adventure. A revelation about writing a book emerges, a story about teenagers getting lost in the woods and encountering a cryptid. The conversation connects to their real experience of finding an old house after leaving the Overlook. The parallels between fiction and reality create an intriguing atmosphere. The group discovers an abandoned house and debates whether to enter. Despite some hesitation and safety concerns, curiosity prevails. They work together to find ways to get inside, showcasing their determination and group dynamics. Personal stories emerge, including experiences of being a minority in Velvet Cove. Finally, entering the house, they find it long abandoned. The group explores the dark space, suggesting turning it into a shared hideout. They decide to return during daylight for better exploration. Mysteriously, after leaving the house, they easily find their way home, as if guided. Later phone conversations reveal aftermath of their adventure. Discussion includes a power outage interpreted as divine judgment by a parent, excitement about a music video project, and anticipation of returning to the cabin. Personal dynamics and secrets begin to surface within the group. Preparations are made for another visit to the house. While gathering supplies and dealing with everyday obstacles, conversations reveal personal histories and family dynamics. The atmosphere builds with anticipation for their next adventure, leaving questions unanswered about what awaits them. A conversation begins about feeling nervous about seeing Nora, with agreement that she can be overwhelming at times. The discussion shifts to reminiscing about a summer cabin trip where extensive preparations were made, including bringing along a notable sticker collection. A touching farewell scene unfolds with someone being called Pumpkin and sworn to secrecy about a hideout. The narrative then transitions to sneaking out and meeting up with others to enter what appears to be a significant location, described as being surprisingly spacious and giving goosebumps to remember. The group begins documenting their return to the space through video. Discussion reveals tensions with parents and mentions of Corey living in Dylan's room, creating complications for sneaking out. The location, particularly its fireplace, holds special meaning as a place where deep conversations once occurred. Reflections on the appeal of living off the grid emerge while filming the cabin. The group begins working to restore the space, including clearing out the fireplace for marshmallow roasting. Conversations touch on personal interests like hiking alone and individual personality traits. The cleaning continues with discoveries of unusual items like animal bones and a ram's skull. A terrarium housing a stick bug named Twiglet becomes a topic of nostalgia. Plans form for activities including games, pizza, and socializing around the fire. A deep conversation develops about Emily Dickinson poetry, revealing shared interests in serious literary themes and feelings of being outsiders. The moment is interrupted by an injury requiring tweezers, leading to frustration about things going wrong. Discussions range from skinny dipping suggestions to paintball experiences, revealing personal insecurities and group dynamics. A brief incident with a moth leads to sharing nature facts and unpacking activities. Questions arise about forgotten memories, both good and bad. The group works on creating a banner for Bloomin' Rage, debating color choices between blue, purple, and gold. This sparks memories of past collaborations and group dynamics. The scene shifts to exploring outside, including a private beach area discovery. Environmental observations continue with the discovery of deceased wildlife and discussions about hunting. The group names their hideout Fawn's Rest, marking it as their special place. Conversations about local deer populations and hopes for their return develop. A casual conversation begins about a tiger's eye, with someone admiring its feline qualities. The discussion shifts to therapy and family dynamics, particularly focusing on complicated relationships with stepparents. One person expresses resistance to therapy while discussing their stepmother Linda, contrasting her with their biological mother, who is portrayed as less conventional. Plans are discussed about future activities, including a potential road trip out west to meet someone's mother. The conversation moves to upcoming birthday plans involving getting a piercing, with various options like nose and lip piercings being considered. The group shows enthusiasm for lip piercings in particular. Talk turns to future aspirations, with someone sharing their dreams of moving to Los Angeles to pursue a career in entertainment. They express a strong desire for fame and leaving a lasting legacy, rather than living what they consider a forgettable life. The conversation becomes more intimate as friends share emotional moments and exchange meaningful items. The narrative shifts to reflections about past dreams and current realities. A person who once aspired to be a musician has become a successful fashion influencer instead. The group discusses how different paths in life can lead to unexpected success, even if not in the way initially planned. The discovery of a package triggers memories of a shared song. The group decides to document their memories together, leading to a journey near Fawn's Rest. The atmosphere becomes increasingly mysterious as they arrive at a secluded location among strange trees. The conversation takes a darker turn as they discuss the concept of cursing those who have wronged them. This leads to the creation of a song that doubles as a curse, complete with dark lyrics about hell and revenge. The group performs a blood ritual to seal their curse, though not everyone participates. Years later, the group reunites as adults. They catch up on their current lives, discussing careers, families, and life choices. One works in social work, another lives quietly in Canada, and another runs a successful clothing line in California with a wife and children. A group of friends reminisce about their past campfires on the shore and discuss the lies they told their parents about their whereabouts. Swan claims to be at Nora's, while others make similar excuses about staying with cousins or friends. They demonstrate the intricate web of deception teenagers often weave to spend time together. The conversation shifts to exciting news about a poetry contest offering bikini kill tickets as a prize. Someone submitted a group song, sparking enthusiasm about potentially winning and planning a road trip together despite one member possibly being in Vancouver by then. The group shares their dream travel destinations, including Paris, despite fears of mimes, Canada, and Yosemite for its waterfalls. They express hopes of visiting these places together someday, particularly during off-peak tourist seasons. The discussion turns to current life updates, including pictures of a pet described as a menace, solo hiking adventures in Yosemite, and working at a bookstore called Wren's Nook, with a carefully curated science fiction section. The conversation touches on reading habits, digital versus physical books, and collecting nature items. The group engages in a game of truth or dare around the fire, leading to various revelations and challenges. The dares range from giving hickeys to personal confessions about fears, including concerns about parents dying and individual mortality. The game escalates to a Bloody Mary dare in a location called the Shit Shack. Despite initial skepticism, the dare creates genuine tension and leads to an unsettling experience where someone claims to have seen a mysterious figure. The narrative shifts to present day, 27 years later, discussing an unresolved situation involving a package and a promise made long ago. The friends debate dealing with the package and contemplate throwing it off a cliff. A memory surfaces about a significant night involving moths and someone named Kat. The recollection leads to searching near a lake where Kat used to seek solitude. The scene moves to a location connected to a blood pact and curse the group made in their youth. Someone suggests filming the area, noting how it has changed since their earlier experiences there. A tense situation unfolds as a group experiences an unsettling feeling while exploring an area. There's a sense of nervous anticipation as they encounter something mysterious below them, causing their stomachs to drop. The moment feels significant enough that they know they'll remember everything from this night. The group discovers something shocking that everyone can see, though they initially doubt their senses. There's a discussion about whether their earlier actions, including a blood ritual, might have caused what they're witnessing. Some suggest it could be a sinkhole, while others believe their ritual actually worked and created something supernatural. They decide to interact with whatever they've discovered by offering gifts and making wishes. One person takes the initiative to go first, expressing frustration about others trying to control their life and demanding justice. The situation becomes increasingly intense as they seek guidance from the mysterious force. Remarkably, one wish appears to come true quickly. Someone wins tickets to see Bikini Kill in Seattle. The group celebrates this apparent success, suggesting their interaction with the mysterious force might have real consequences. However, their celebration is interrupted by an unwelcome arrival. A confrontational scene develops involving someone named Kat and an authority figure sent by her father. The situation escalates with hostile exchanges and threats, revealing underlying tensions about control and independence. The group stands together against the intruder, leading to increasingly aggressive interactions. Later, the group reflects on whether their experience was real. They discuss how events affected various people, particularly someone named Corey, though they're cautious about speaking openly. The conversation reveals lingering uncertainty about the consequences of their wishes and the changes they observed in their friend Kat. The scene shifts to a bar where the group, now older, continues discussing their past experiences. They play pool and share updates about their lives, including creative pursuits like writing horror novels. There's a mix of nostalgia and reluctance to delve too deeply into their shared history. The narrative includes a flashback to an interview with Kat, age 16, revealing her interests in poetry, riot girl music, and zine culture. This earlier footage provides context about Kat's character and her connections to a broader alternative culture through her correspondence with a girl named Claire from Seattle. Growing up on a hunting ranch created feelings of isolation, with only deer for companionship. The environment was particularly harsh since the deer were raised specifically for hunting. A pivotal childhood memory is shared about being a conventional church-going kid until a confrontation with mom led to being grounded. After sneaking out and falling asleep behind a library, there was an encounter with an injured fawn named Gertie. This experience created a deep connection to protecting deer, especially given the context of growing up on a hunting ranch. Plans are being made for an upcoming show, including borrowing a truck to transport musical equipment. There is excitement about filming the performance and making an impact on the town. The group intends to rage and create a memorable experience. The group moves to a secluded location to prepare for the show, planning to use colored lights as part of the performance. They coordinate logistics around filming and equipment setup, showing their dedication to creating a professional-looking show. The scene shifts to the Blue Spruce venue where the group needs to set up equipment. They encounter a locked door and debate various ways to gain access, eventually discovering potential solutions through found items. The atmosphere becomes tense as the group faces confrontation from others at the venue. They continue setting up while dealing with hostile comments about their appearance and questioned legitimacy of their presence. The performance begins with intense energy, but quickly descends into chaos. The unauthorized nature of their presence becomes apparent, leading to escalating tensions with venue staff and others present. A major confrontation erupts involving family dynamics, particularly between siblings. The situation becomes increasingly volatile as various parties argue about responsibility and consequences of the unauthorized performance. The situation reaches a critical point with an apparent medical emergency. The intense emotions and chaos of the evening culminate in a serious incident that causes panic among those present. The evening concludes with raw emotional aftermath, expressed through musical themes about consequences and personal impact. The experience leaves lasting impressions on all involved, highlighting the complex relationships and tensions within the group.